when I was in-house and I joined companies that either never had marketing ops or had a very small marketing operations team. I started these marketing ops 101 kind of like office hours where anyone in the company could come. And it was just to teach people, anyone from sales to engineering to IT, about what is marketing operations, because a lot of people don't know what it is if they're not in marketing.
Welcome to The Ordinary. I'm your host, Morten Sørensen, and today we're going to talk about what it actually takes to survive and eventually thrive as a small marketing operations team, and about why the people around you might matter more than the tools you use. My guest today is Chloe Pott, Franco-American, based in Toulouse, France, and one of the most recognizable voices in the European marketing operations community. She's a three-time Adobe Marketo champion, the founder of Nibbles Consulting, a warm international MOPS consultancy for B2B SaaS companies. And she's been in this field for over a decade, with stints at NextThink, Datadog, Lokalise, and more. At Lokalise, she was the founding MOPS hire and grew the team from herself to a team of 4. But what makes Chloe stand out isn't just her technical depth, it's that she talks openly about the human side of this work. Burnout, mental health, parenting, and the loneliness that can come with being a one-person MOPS team. And she's done something about it. She co-leads the European chapter of the Marketing Ops community, which, full disclosure, I'm also part of. Creating spaces where MOPS professionals across Europe can connect, learn, and not feel so alone. I just recently came across Chloe's presentation, Small But Mighty, a talk she gave at Mopsapalooza in 2024, and I knew immediately I wanted to have this conversation. Chloe, welcome to the Ordinary Marketing Ops podcast.
Hi, Morten. I'm really excited to be here. I've been following you for quite a while, and I joined you from the lovely, sunny south of France this morning. It's a nice 18 degrees and sunny. I'm in a t-shirt, and I'm excited to talk. Hi.
Hi, Chloe. I think we've been following each other for quite some while now. Your name started to pop up about like 2 years ago, I think, in my feed. Yeah, sunny and warm. Yeah, I think we have like 3 or 4 degrees today, or maybe 5 now. But we changed to the summer tires a week ago or something because we had.
So
I did
no
that.
more snow.
Hmm?
At least there's no more snow, but it's still very
Well,
cold for you.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. There was snow on the car tonight, this night.
Oh,
So with summer tires on, and it's like, yeah, thank you. Uh, so, but yeah, it's starting to get some leaves on the trees, and so it's promising. So yeah, but I I must admit that I do envy you with a great climate that you have where you live. Chloe, you built a whole framework around thriving as a small MOPS team. But before the frameworks, what does it actually feel like to be a one-person MOPS team? What's the day-to-day experience that nobody talks about?
that nobody talks about. Well, I think what people do talk about is that it's very busy. Being a one person MOPS team, you are constantly doing things, constantly fighting fires, preparing. But I think the part that people don't talk about enough is how lonely it can feel. There's few to nobody else in the organization who speaks the same language do. They might have an idea, but it can be very lonely. Having no one to brainstorm, I think, is really challenging, and that's certainly what I missed out with Localize, is I didn't have anyone to simply bounce ideas off of. And so I went out looking for other people in MOPS, also MOPS in their organization, and that's really the year that I really started getting heavily involved in the marketing ops community in Europe, uh, finding other people like me and just short coffee chats, getting to know people and having someone else to brainstorm with, because it can be very lonely trying to fight your battle on your own. That's also how you and I met, is that we connected on LinkedIn, and we both noted that we had similar things in common, and we had a coffee chat that was supposed to be 30 minutes, and I think our first conversation ended up being at least an hour long.
You log on or you meet up, and like 30, 45 minutes later, you feel like you've met a friend that you have known for a long time. So yeah, it's I think that's a really healthy thing to do for especially solopreneurs, people, or everyone, I think, that are fully remote. Chloe, you did an informal LinkedIn poll on the biggest challenges for small MOPS teams, and the result was pretty telling. What surprised you most about what people said?
That very informal poll question was a couple years ago. And if I recall correctly, I believe one of the biggest challenges was figuring out like how to prioritize. And the second one, or one of the other option results was having difficulty saying no. And those are both somewhat surprising, but they're also like, it's the plain answer is in your face. Like those are the two things that you need to do as a small MOPS team in order to succeed. Because when you don't have a roadmap, you have no way to push back on people and say no. And you have no idea what is in your plan of what you're going to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And the other answer of people having difficulty saying no, I'm one of the first people who has difficulty saying no, which is why I participate in so many different things. But it really is critical when you're a one-person team, because saying no helps you prioritize. And you don't have to say no and be the bad person, but learning how to say yes, but, and it's much easier to push back on certain departments or certain project plans if you have that roadmap. So the two are definitely linked. If you don't have a roadmap, you can't say no. If you do have a roadmap and someone comes in and says, oh, we need to shift gears and do this, or this is super urgent, we need to do this now, you have the power, because you have that roadmap, to say, okay, let's pause for a minute. Here's what I'm working on, and here's what the next quarter looks like for me as a MOPS person. I can help you, but it's a no. But we need to reprioritize some of the other things in the roadmap. So you asked me to implement an ABM tool, and now you're asking me to reorganize something in the CRM. As a solo MOPS person, you can't do it all at the same time. So you really have to have your foundational roadmap that lets the organization know what you're working on and what you're going to work on. And learning how to say no with pride and dignity is really something that I think everyone needs to learn how to do. And not only in marketing ops, but in anything.
But how do you build a roadmap when you're a team of one and already drowning in execution?
How do you build a roadmap when you're already drowning in execution? You 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 you, you prioritize so much. Building a roadmap is something you really start at the beginning when you first join the organization. I think it's part of that 90-day process of just learning. You learn about the organization, you learn about what the marketing team has in process, what tools they have. Part of your 30, 60, 90-day plan should be building out a roadmap. 30, 60 days, you're learning, you're interviewing people in the organization, stakeholders, and that 60 to 90 days is you prioritize what's in place and what needs to get put in place to bring the company further. But if you have already passed that 90-day step of being a solo MOPS person, it may feel like it's impossible, but ruthless prioritization, you have to make it a priority to say, I can't fight all the fires right now. I need to build this roadmap so that we can take things further in the future.
How do you like that is if you're working in-house as a MOPS team of one. You work as a solopreneur, just like me. How would you describe how should a solopreneur approach a new client? Because, like you say, 0 to 30 days, 30 to 60, 60 to 90. Like as a solopreneur, I don't feel that you have like 3 months to be able to do all that. How do you kind of speed up the process, or what do you cut, what do you keep, like compared to joining an in-house organization?
So that's a really great question. I had a client early this year where the project was a very short duration. It was like 4 weeks, and the project was an audit. I was auditing their marketing automation and their CRM systems, and part of that audit was to also deliver a prioritized roadmap for them. And I had, of course, limited hours. I wasn't also trying to support them in their everyday operations at the same time. So it was a limited scope project where I spent, I think it was like 50 hours interviewing people in their marketing transformation team, their sales operations team, and asking for whatever existing documentation they had, getting access to their marketing automation and their CRM, and just going through and trying to figure it out. There was one person in that team who was pretty well informed of all of the different processes in place. And so I really grabbed onto that person and squeezed all the juice out of their brain that I could. And it's not something that you can turn around that quickly. I even felt like that 4 to 6 weeks was really short. But as a consultant, you don't have all the time in the world. You have your allotted project time, and clients certainly want things delivered within that time. But I think if an organization is at the stage where they're hiring an external consultant to come in and give them a roadmap, they're looking for, it's their sign that they're looking for help. So I think any degree of a roadmap that you can deliver to them, whether it's the basic foundational part of like stage one of the marketing operations maturity model versus stage 4, I think they're looking for any guidance at all. So I was able to give them something I thought it was fairly in depth. Then they will take it. So I think it's really, since becoming a solo entrepreneur on my own, I've definitely learned how to ruthlessly prioritize even more than when I was a solo person in house. I'm
3 days later.
Hey, Chloe. What happened there?
You know what? I had to do a little time travel, It got too
Yeah,
hot outside.
yeah. Well, I was too chilly, or maybe I don't know. Well, that's excitement of doing these recordings outside because usually something happens, and it did. Actually, I lost you, Chloe. The rest of our recording, uh,
Vanished.
it's only me there. So we don't hear you, we don't see you, but you see me really interested in your in what you're saying,
And
and
whatever I was saying.
huh?
And whatever I was saying, so let's hope I can say it
Yeah.
again.
Uh, we'll just have to do it again, and so for those watching or listening, this is one of these type of episodes that shows how agile marketing ops people can be. So this is like 3 days later. We were able to fit this recording into our schedule, and here we go.
You have to be flexible in marketing ops.
Yeah,
Stay
of
on your
course.
toes. You can't ever be too you can't follow the agenda to a T every time, You have to keep people excited, and
Yeah.
we're gonna
And
re-record.
and we had a great talk. We had a great
We
walk.
did.
So yeah. I didn't know it was going to be that private. So just for us. So I'm still
Do over.
okay.
We can try again.
Yeah, Chloe, you have been quite open about being a mental health advocate, about burnout, and about being a full-time working parent during all of this. That's a combination a lot of MOPS people recognize, but rarely hear talked about honestly. What happened and what did you learn from it?
I think that marketing ops is definitely a high energy role where you do get pulled in a lot of directions by a lot of different people. Um, I don't think it's prone to burnout. I don't think because you're in marketing ops, you are going to get burned out. I don't think that's a correct statement, but there are situations where you could have a toxic manager, a toxic workplace, an unsupportive organization that can lead to burnout. But that is true, I think, with any job. In particular, on a personal note, what happened to me is after my first child was born, I attempted to come back to work. Work wasn't quite ready for me to come back. There wasn't really a plan in place. I had some issues with childcare, and long story short, I ended up going through some pretty bad postpartum depression, which caused me to take a step back and take a break from work, an extended break. So I took about another 3 to 4 months of leave to focus on myself and healing because becoming a parent and certainly becoming a mother is a big change. A lot of things happen on a physical, hormonal, and mental level. And so I took a step back, I took care of myself. And then when my son was about 7 months old, is when I really came back to work. And it definitely prepared me for my second child. Um, we were able to uh, be more aware of what I was prone to and what I was at risk for. And I am very familiar with all the different types of therapies, and I have many different therapists that I've consulted over the years. And I think one thing that I would love to leave people with is that there's no shame in needing help or needing extra support, especially when you're a parent and you're a full-time working parent or you're transitioning out of parental leave and back into the workforce. Um, Getting help, asking for help, it takes a village to bring children up in today's society.
Mm,
Um, and the more people that you can have to help you, I'm I'm all for it. And with people working remotely more and more, I think it can be very isolating. We don't I don't go to an office. I haven't gone to an office since way before COVID. Um, and so you have to find that network in the community. And to bring this all back kind of to marketing ops and community is, not only do I see therapists, I also have my virtual friends and my virtual community, and
mm,
they help me in all different ways, whether it's project-based support, brainstorming support. I've connected with other parents. I mean, you, Morton, you have two older girls, so I have some exciting things to look forward to with my kids. But we connect on all different levels, and so that's what I really love about my virtual community that I've built.
yeah. Um, do you think there's something specific about MOPS that makes burnout more likely, like the invisible work, the reactive nature, the nobody notices unless something breaks dynamic? Do you think the job itself is a burnout risk?
I would hate to say that marketing ops is a burnout risk. I
Hmm.
love working in marketing ops. I think it's definitely how you frame it and how you handle certain situations. Um, I don't recall in our first recording when we talked about finding a cheerleader. I think it was towards the end.
Hmm.
Um,
Maybe.
but one of the things that I've done to help reduce burnout risk is finding people internally at organizations who support me, whether they're in marketing or sales or product or any other ops team. Um, Finding other people who support what you do can help reduce that risk of burnout. And it's all about prioritization. If you are getting pulled in 20 different directions and you don't know how to say no, I remember at the beginning we talked about building a roadmap. If you have that roadmap, you have a much better way, an easier way of prioritizing and saying no to certain things. So, of course, there are situations where there's a really crappy work environment. Um,
Mm.
but I do not want to say that MOPS is like more prone to burnout than any other role. That would
No.
be a disservice to my MOPS community.
Yeah, it's like just because you see a lot of burnout in these types of roles uh, doesn't mean that it's because of its mobs, because it's just I think you will see the same pattern across many different types of roles. Um, it's not because it's marking ups; it's just kind of
That's who we
all
see.
the
That's who
yeah.
we interact with. So I mean, I'm sure there's burnout in all roles, whether it's at SaaS companies or in manual labor, uh,
Mm,
healthcare workers, teachers. Like
yeah,
any job is prone to burnout. I think it depends on the environment, and that's what causes
yeah.
burnout.
And actually, I would like to think that maybe one of the most common reasons is if whether you feel alone, like you work with 40, 50 people in the same office, and you feel like you're the only one concerned about this or that. And if if you have a role like that, doesn't matter what you work with, I think you will kind of face the same challenges that eventually may lead to burnout. So it's not the mobs causing it. It's just the environment that mobs very often find themselves in. Yeah. But you talk about community as something that saved you, not just professionally but personally.
Hmm.
What does it mean to lean into a community when you're the only MOPS person in your organization?
Oh, it's asking for help. It's not
Yeah.
being the only MOPS person in an organization and not asking for help. So, um, I've been a solo MOPS person in-house for about a year, and then I built up a team, but during that year, it was very lonely. I found people internally at the organization who I just on a human level got along with really well, but also who became a marketing ops cheerleader. They happened to be in in sales ops, and there was someone else in like customer support, in general customer support, and those are the people internally who certainly became my cheerleaders. But then I know other marketing ops people through the community in general that I started reaching out to so that I could brainstorm, because even though I had cheerleaders internally, they didn't particularly understand marketing operations and the workflows and the systems. And so you do need someone who you can collaborate with on the technical things that you want to build. And so that's when I went outside of the company to find other people like me, who were solo MOPS people who needed someone to brainstorm with. And that's how it all started when I wanted to really start building the European marketing operations community. And now we're a lot of people who like coming together and chatting. But um, I think it can be very lonely when you're a solo MOPS person in house. And I think it's important to find people internally to who support you, but also getting the external technical validation and brainstorming uh, connection that you need to reinforce your own self confidence in what you're building internally.
Yeah. Um, I totally agree. For someone who's running on empty right now, what's the one thing you wish someone had told you earlier?
If I was running on empty, something that I wish someone would have told me earlier is that it's just a job. It really is only a job. You can change your job. We spend a majority of our time of the day at work, and if it's not satisfying you, change. It might not always be easy to change. I mean, I definitely acknowledge that, but staying in, I wish I would have left certain companies sooner than when I did, because it really did tear down on my mental, emotional well-being. Um, and that started dissipating out of just me. It like started like people on the team started noticing it. And that's not a good thing. It's leave before it's too late and before things really start getting visibly bad. And there's no shame in leaving a job, especially if it's not bringing you joy. I think we spend so much time at work that we need to be able to do something that brings us happiness and joy and something that's fun. And it's also okay to admit that sometimes that fun has come to an end and it's just time to move on.
Yeah. And uh, most definitely, you don't owe your employer anything. I actually because um,
I've been
in
through 2
our
rounds of layoffs. They don't owe you anything either.
no, and it's like too many people have kind of realized that, oh, we didn't have this bond or this relationship that I thought we had and that I invested in because I owe it to the work, family, and stuff, and suddenly you're off. You're laid off. It's
Yeah,
like, okay,
I've
yeah.
I've never been a
It,
fan of that term work family because they're
no,
2
I was
very
just about.
different, yeah, they're 2 very different things. Work is business. It's a business
Mm,
transaction. Family, sometimes you get to choose, sometimes you don't get to choose, but you can entirely choose who you work with, and
Yeah,
the work will
but
also choose you.
but you don't get fired by your family.
Exactly.
In 99.9%,
Yeah.
I think you don't get fired.
Yeah.
But yeah. Um, so but you've done this for a while, but you didn't just find community because you started building it. Like the European chapter of marketing of the marketing ops community, Pocket Nibbles Consulting, the events, the internal MOPS 101 sessions you ran at every company you joined. Where does that drive bring? Where does that drive to bring people together come from?
I love this question. I wish we had my reaction the first time when we were doing this recording outside. Um,
Even just looking forward to get another shot at it.
Another chance to explain it.
Yeah.
Um, I hope I do it justice. So, Pocket Nibbles Consulting, first of all, the name is an amazing story that I want everyone who's listening to read. It's a term that my mom uh, coined almost 40 years ago. Um, and so we'll put a link in the notes to that what that term comes from, and so why I named my company Pocket Nibbles Consulting. Um, but I've always, since I was young, enjoyed helping others. Um, I babysat very early. I think like at around 12 or 14, I started babysitting. I started working as a junior camp counselor around the same age, I think 14 or 15. When I was in university, I was a tutor for students who needed extra support in their studies. My first job out of college, I was actually an English teacher in France for kindergarteners and high schoolers, very different age group.
Mm.
Um, but I have always loved helping people learn and helping people grow. And I think it's something about when you see the light bulb go off in someone's eyes of, "I get it, like, I understand now, I finally get what you're talking about." Yeah, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that feeling, and I have never been someone to, like, gatekeep content or, like, have people pay me to give them a template, like, I should probably monetize certain things, but I love helping others learn and grow, and so when I was in-house and I joined companies that either never had marketing ops or had a very small marketing operations team, I started these marketing ops 101 kind of like office hours where anyone in the company could come, and it was just to teach people, anyone from sales to engineering to IT, about what is marketing operations, because a lot of people don't know what it is. If they're not in marketing, a lot of people don't know what marketing operations is. And it's so vast of a role. It can be from building emails to managing a website to managing CRM. There could also be data and analytics and marketing ops, workflows, automations, all of these things. And so I love just teaching what marketing operations was. And so when I was my last in-house role, when I was solo mops person and grew the team to four, um, a couple of years ago, that's really when I started looking for other marketing ops professionals in Europe, to come together. And so, because I wanted to see how marketing operations differed in Europe than it did in the US and Canada. And it's very different. Marketing operations in Europe, some countries don't even recognize the term marketing operations. Um,
Hey.
yeah, hey, Norway.
Yeah.
Um, but UK, Amsterdam is or Netherlands is starting to. But I've met people who work in marketing operations, but their title, and she's gonna know exactly who she is when I say her title, digital project manager or digital program manager.
Yeah.
She manages a marketing automation and CRM, and she's doing a Salesforce migration right now.
Yeah.
The titles are
Like in
so
Norway. In Norway, I think you have a lot of digital marketing specialists or digital marketer, and they do it
and in
all the
France, there's also
marketing
just a lot
and
of
all the
like
mops.
marketing manager.
Yeah, yeah. You have a lot of those also in Norway, like small companies. They have a marketing manager, and that's like a combo of one,
Event marketing,
marketing team of one,
marketing
and then mops
ops.
team of one in
Yeah.
one,
Yep.
like two teams of one person.
Content marketing, design,
Yeah,
like they do it
everything.
all. And
So
so,
you can imagine how much time you have for each part.
yeah.
Yeah.
So long story short, I just love helping others and bringing people together and helping others learn from others. And so that's where I am today. And I really try and find that element in everything that I do. I am one of the many people who has a hard time saying no to certain things. But I really do try and take a step back and say, if I do this, does this resonate with what brings me joy? And helping others grow and learn and being enabled in their roles is one of those things. And so, uh, being on podcasts and building a European community and hosting events with you and Mihai, it's all about just helping other people learn, and that's really something that I enjoy doing.
Yeah. Um. Now we're going to talk a little bit about cheerleader, because you have this concept about of finding a cheerleader in another department. You talked a little bit about it. Like the cheerleader is someone who advocates for mobs, even if they don't fully understand it. Um, what I don't think you touch upon now is, how do you find that person and how do you cultivate that relationship?
Well, like any relationship, business or personal, professional or personal, it takes time and energy and from both sides.
Mm,
How do you find that cheerleader is when I found them in the past, I actually look for the human connection first. Um, for me, it's much easier to connect with someone on a human basis than on a marketing ops basis, especially if they're not in marketing. Um, So I find people in organizations who I get along with really well. I ask about them and about
hmm
their work, and then I make connections between their work and my work. And that's when you start building these neural connections between, I mean, in when we talk about a professional situation, everyone's end goal is the same. It's bringing more revenue to the company. So when you start learning about what this other person's role is, whether they're sales ops or engineering or sales, um, connecting their goal of revenue to your goal of revenue is how you can start building that foundation. Um, Frequently, I find cheerleaders in other MOPS like roles. So sales ops, customer success ops, product ops, data analytics. Um, the goal of a cheerleader is really some like you said, someone who's there to help support you and go to bat for you when you need some backup and someone else to say, "Yeah, I agree with what their plan is, and we should do this." Because
mm.
ultimately, everyone has the same goal: is bringing revenue to the organization.
I think you need to build understanding
Hmm.
that what you're trying to do is supporting uh,
Each other.
supporting each other, supporting the same goal. So it's like translating. You're talking sales, I'm talking marketing. Yeah, but it's actually the same.
Hmm.
Um, you told me once that you've stopped looking at certifications when hiring because compassion and drive matter more. I think that's a bold stance, but I do agree. But what does a great MOPS hire actually look like to you?
I said that statement a while ago, and I want to clarify for the listeners. This was for platform certifications. So, like getting certified in Marketo, getting certified in HubSpot or Salesforce or whatever tool it is. I think those are overrated because I think what's more important are the soft skills of
Mm.
having an ambition to learn, being creative, being curious, not being afraid to try and to fail. Because the platforms itself, if you have those soft skills, being curious, ambitious, you
Mm.
can learn the platforms. You can learn the tools. As a consultant, all of my clients use different tools, so I have to figure out. But I'm curious and I like learning, so you figure it out. So I think platform specific certification is a little overrated. Um, but I think having a basic understanding of what marketing operations is super important. And if someone this is their first time ever into marketing ops and they don't know it, you'll learn that along the way. But marketingops.com is also developing a certification for what is marketing operations. Um, so we can also put a link to that in the the notes later. Um, but I definitely look for soft skills and connecting with a person on a human basis because if you connect with them as a person and they have those curiosity, eager to learn, um, okay with failure, like they can learn all the tech things, all the tech skills. It changes so frequently anyway. I would much rather hire someone on a human level and then teach them all the tech skills later.
Yeah, it's like you would kind of rather hire an experienced gamer across a lot of different games than have an expert on this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because but I think actually for me, the gamer reference is more that if you look at all the Martech we have, like all the various categories of, you have like marketing automation platforms, um, email sending, analytics, etc. But if you have experience in marketing automation platforms and you start a new job or you have a new client and they say, "Oh, have you ever used this platform?" No, but that doesn't matter because I've done marketing automation for years, and probably,
The tools are pretty
most probably
similar.
they have built it to make it easy for people that have used
Yeah.
other platforms to also use this one. Nobody wants to, reinvent the wheel when it comes to
Yeah.
their platform. Rather than, I know one social media platform that did that, and I've never liked it. It's called Snapchat. Um, but like first time opening that up is like, what are they thinking? What did they, what? Yeah. So, but it's when it comes to Martech, it's not like that. Everything
Yeah.
is kind of
I
the
love
same.
I love that analogy you made though with
Have-
the gaming. It's like I would rather hire someone who has 15 years of gaming experience versus someone who um, only has that one specific game because with all those different various gaming experiences, they've seen how other things work. They will question this particular game that I need them to play. And
Mm,
granted, their ramp up time might be a little bit longer, but they have that outside perspective and they've seen other things. And that's what I
mm,
really value
yeah,
in a good marketing operations professional is they have the ability to question why
yeah.
certain things work that
And
way.
just to be clear, I'm not I'm not saying that having 15 years of expertise in one tool
Is a
makes
bad thing. It's not a bad
no,
thing.
it's not a bad thing. The bad thing is if someone hiring sees that you don't have that in like the expertise in that specific tool, if the hiring company or the client sees that as a bad thing, well, that's a bad thing because
Hmm.
that shouldn't be something that they should be concerned with, because look at the experience, look at what you have done across different various tools, and I actually think that if you can show that you have got up and running on all these various platforms, you will also get up and running on this platform.
Exactly.
And
You can learn one, you can learn the others.
Yeah, and usually without reading all the manuals, because
If there are
you,
manuals, sometimes there
yeah,
aren't.
well, if without getting stuck head down in an online resource, or
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So um, you're a founding member of a community we've touched upon. It's growing fast across Europe. What does the European MOPS landscape look like right now compared to where it was when you started? And where do you think it needs to go?
Where is the community now versus where it started? It probably hasn't changed that much, to be honest, but at least I know that the people are out there. The
Let's be clear.
people,
When did you start?
so
So what time frame are we looking at?
I think I
In
really started investing in European marketing ops 2.5 to 3 years ago. So this would have
Okay.
been 2023-ish.
Mm,
I mean, and I've been in marketing ops for a long time. I've always been involved, but I shifted more towards explicitly like trying to find others who do that, who do this
mm,
in Europe, probably 2.5 to 3 years ago. And I always knew there were some people here and there, but when I really started digging, that's when I realized, well, they don't have the same titles of marketing operations manager. And
mm,
so that's when I went looking for things differently.
mhm,
Like we mentioned, the different titles, the digital project managers, the marketing automation is a huge one that really is just marketing operations hiding in the
mm,
sky. CRM managers, lifecycle managers. Um, when I started shifting how I look for marketing operations people in Europe, that's when it really started. Like people were there and they just started flooding in. Um, so how has the community changed? It's the people are out there with different titles. I now know to broaden the search. Um, the curiosity and the energy is there for European marketing ops who want to learn and who want to have a community. For years, there have been great things going on in the US for communities to get together. And there have been some things across the years in Europe, but have been very uh, platform specific. And I wanted to help support finding a marketing ops community that wasn't tied to specific technology, because that's how I think we can teach people more, is not
mm.
tying to a specific platform. Um, so people are coming together, and I think it was at beginning of 2025 is actually when you, Mihai, and I officially like started the virtual European chapter.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so it's been a little over a year that we've officially like been hosting virtual events together and
Mm,
getting people excited and interested in marketing ops and learning from each other and learning how different regions in Europe do things differently and where is it going. Um, it's very exciting where it's going. In a year from now, in April of 2027, we're hosting our first European focused marketing ops summit in
Yay.
Barcelona. And I think by the time this gets released, the dates and the venue will officially have been announced. So we can put a link to that in the show notes too. Um, and we're just the momentum is not slowing down for Europe. So there's a lot of people interested, and weekly I get new people in my inbox and LinkedIn or email or Slack saying, "Hey, I heard about this," or "I want to get into marketing ops," or "I work in data analytics on the business ops team. Like, I'm curious how this connects to marketing operations and the broader like go-to market organization." And the it's just phenomenal and exciting to see how it's spreading. And I think the need and the want has always been there, but we missed like having people who were here to help grow and help learn. So I
Mm,
appreciate all the effort that also you and Mihai Bejgu at Revenue Pulse put into growing this community with me, because I could not do it on my own. But it's really nice to have other people in different parts of Europe to kind of represent uh, their their regions of Europe.
of course. Um, I I was when you said you started or you know back in 23, and I was thinking, when did I actually realize I already was in marketing ops? And I think that may have been the year before or something.
Hmm.
Looking back at my career, I have like 22 plus years in marketing ops, but what did marketing ops look like? Like if you look at the definition of marketing ops, um, which I can't recite right now, but if you take that 22 years back, it did consist of like Google Analytics, Google AdWords, not ads, but AdWords. Um, and you had
Even just like
maybe
Excel spreadsheets.
yeah, a Notepad and CSV files, and they're still here.
Yeah, I use CSV
Yeah,
every day when I do a list import for
still
my
there.
clients.
You know, like, but I think I spent like maybe a year or so thinking that, oh, I need to get into marketing ops. And then
You
I
were in
realized,
it already.
oh, I'm here already. Okay, cool.
Now that I've arrived, what
That
can
was
I do?
like so it's and I think a lot of people, especially in the Nordics, especially in Norway, um, they don't realize that. They don't realize that. Oh, it's a it's a unique definition of what you're doing on the marketing team. It that's has its own specified role. It's not just that you're a digital marketer or of some sorts, and you're set to do the analytics and dashboards and sending out the emails and you know uh, and I think many as me has real or kind of experienced that those tasks are by many marketers seen as the boring stuff that nobody else want to do. So one guy or girl, one person ends up with all these tasks, and that's just something that somebody has to do. It's not
Mhm.
focus. It's not just you need to do that at some point. Okay, but that's I think the shift for many companies would be to realize that that's not just something you do when you have time for it. This is a priority. Lift it up, and it will support in a totally different way. And give it a proper focus, a proper role definition, space within the department, within the company, and then you have yeah. but we're getting there. More and more people almost every day, every week, are getting this bigger picture of what marketing ops is actually. So
If I may ask the interviewer a question, from your experience with
first
marketing and
time.
marketing ops in Norway, are you seeing those who work in marketing ops, do they sit in the marketing team or do they sit somewhere else in the organization?
Uh, I would say that maybe 95% sits in the marketing team. Yeah, because it's not distinct. It's just marketing. Kind of that it's not defined as anything else. And
Mhm.
I think uh, maybe a more uh, um, a better question would be who owns the martech?
Mhm.
Is that
The
marketing?
marketers or is that IT?
I think often IT, because you don't have marketing ops owning it, right? So,
So IT
but
owns it, but then there's people in marketing who run it.
yeah, just log in and run it. But all the
Mhm.
definitions, everything, if you need to do something really technical behind the scenes or have like super admin rights to change this and that data flow, or then you need to talk to IT and
But
you
does
need to wait
IT even
until
know
IT.
how to do it?
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that's like
The
hiring.
understanding of the automations and the implications of what the workflows do. Can IT make that sound decision of what, how, and what needs to be changed? Yeah, it's
But
really interesting.
yeah, but in that sense, IT is more like an outsourced entity, because
Mhm.
they're not involved. They do not understand what you need, what the marketing team actually needs. They don't understand marketing,
Mhm.
and they it's like some way back in my career, I had to get help from some developers to uh, make some JavaScripts for me, to show some ads, like building a JavaScript container. It was kind of homegrown stuff, and
Mhm.
yeah, really, really expert developers, but like on code.
Mhm.
They're experts on code. They're not experts on marketing. So I had to tell them every little bit of thing, how it should be working, how and they just did something, and like it's like, I know it should be a Lamborghini, but you're
Right now
you're
you're just gonna get a
you're making
Honda
a Volvo. You have a drawing of a Volvo, but I need a Lamborghini, actual Lamborghini with which I can drive, not a drawing of it.
of a
And
Lamborghini.
you need, yeah, you need, yeah, but you need to tell everything, and that would be the same for if IT is actually the ones doing all the, in my point of view, MOPS technical stuff. So I think that's more the question when it comes to Norway and the Nordics, and uh, similar countries based on where they are in the MOPS maturity journey. So, but hey, I'm the interviewer here. But yeah, um, but nice one. Um,
That's never
uh,
happened before.
no, it's the first one. Um, I knew that getting you on the podcast would bring something new and fresh. Chloe, I Actually, right now, I don't have the control of the total timeline here because we have 2 different recordings, like the audience would know by now. We started outside. We ended up here finishing the recording because we just had to, right? We can't just leave it unrecorded. But we have to wrap up. And
Yes.
before we do that, for the solo MOPS person listening to this on their walk right now, or in the car, or feeling like they are the only one, what's the one thing you want them to take away from this conversation?
Solo MOPS person on your walk or cooking, whatever you're doing, cleaning, exercising, come join us in the community. Reach out for help. We would love to brainstorm with you and help you feel less lonely, and give you other people to connect with. Especially if you're in Europe and you're listening, we are finding people in all corners of all countries. You'd be surprised. We've got Morten up in Norway. We've got Mihai over in Romania, and I'm in France. We really have people all over. So not only can we
UK, Netherlands,
help you find
Belgium.
people virtually, we can help you find people locally. And we want to hear from you. So reach out. You can find me on LinkedIn, on email, on my blog. And I'm sure
Community.
Morten would love to have you on your podcast as well. Yeah, in the community. I mean, you can find me in lots of places.
And actually, I wasn't supposed to bring this up, but I'm in season 2. I actually have a Norwegian-based person. Norwegian.
Another one. So
Yeah,
you're not
another one.
alone.
That makes 2.
2 of you.
So I have planned. It's not booked, but I probably will start season 2 with a fellow
love that.
Norwegian. Yeah, I've been looking forward to finding somebody that it's in English, so but the person we're talking about was that's fine. So
I love that.
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I will leave lots more links than typically in the comments. Have to go back and check everything.
Every
you
mention of
mentioned.
links.
Yeah, but that's so I think people already have found them in the comments. If you're curious enough, Chloe, Pott, thanks for being on the Ordinary Marketing Ops podcast also today.
Again.
Yeah,
It was so fun, Morten. Thank you very much for having me, and I'm excited to listen to this and to share it with other people. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. And to those watching, see you in the next one.